can't see. If they can't see, I must become stronger, more powerful. I will never let my friends get hurt again.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James coming at you guys with another custom lightsaber review. This time we have Ezra's second lightsaber. This particular lightsaber was obtained through CCSabers and is made by TXQ. And if you're interested in the hilt that I'm reviewing in today's video, or anything CCSabers tends to offer on his website, I do have an affiliate link located in the video description down below and also in the pinned comment section as well. By using my affiliate link, you'll be able to get a discount on your initial purchase. So let's go ahead and begin by kind of giving a quick recap. And the recap here is, well, my kind of thoughts and opinions on the Galaxy's Edge version that I reviewed about a few weeks ago. Now, my initial thoughts about the Galaxy's Edge version that I reviewed was I felt like they took the original design of the hilt and mushed it down on both ends. And of course, with any thin neck saber design that Galaxy's Edge tends to offer, you do need that special blade adapter in order to use the blade. Well, since then, I also did my review of the Kanan saber from TXQ and found out that they're also doing one for Ezra Bridgers. So I thought to myself, definitely had to get my hands on this and check it out for myself. And my first impressions out of the box was, this feels way better. Not only do the proportions seem right, it doesn't seem squished down in any kind of way, shape, or form, but it is definitely fun to wield and use for sure, and a must-have for any Star Wars Rebels fans in general. So let's go ahead and by giving you guys a closer look at the hilt, then I'll show you guys what additional accessories you tend to get. Now do keep in mind that this is the Profi version that I'm reviewing in today's video. So here is a closer look at the hilts. And like I said, this hilt looks very, very good in person. Starting off on the bottom instead of the top this time, we have, of course, the triangle shaped D-ring here to go ahead and put it onto your belts. Then you got the nice section between the black and the metal portions here in the center. With the control box, this control box is also going to be how you activate your saber. It is a 2-button configuration, so you have your upper button and lower button. This upper section here with the switch doesn't do anything at all, it's just there for display. Then you have the upper grenade handle, and then you also have the upper emitter. Now there is one little detail that is missing on this one, which is an easy fix on your end if it's something that bothers you. And that's this detail right here, this upper black ring. I was looking at the show once again in concept art for it, kind of making sure I was looking at it correctly, and the little detail that's missing there is that ring definitely had a gold or copperish look to it in the show. But it's an easy fix. That's something that you can paint in yourself if you wanted to, or you can just leave it as is if you prefer it that way too. But nice details all the way around. And the upper emitter. Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, how is a blade going to fit in there? We'll get to that in just a moment. And you're also wondering, where's the sound ventilation? Well, that's because this particular lightsaber did come with 2 additional little accessories. So let's go ahead and get to the box itself. Now this did come with, of course, a nice little box here with the CCSabers logo located on the top. When you open this up, you are going to get the following items. You are going to get a charging cable through a USB-C. Of course, the blade retention screws and hex tool needed. You are also going to be getting an acrylic lightsaber stand. In fact, I have one built off to the side so I can finally show you guys what the stand looks like. And here is what the stand will officially look like once you remove all the paper. It's easy to assemble, just the annoying part is removing the little sticker on the acrylic. So just make sure you have some, fingernails on standby. You also do, of course, get a lightsaber blade. And these are the additional accessories inside the box. Of course, also instruction booklet too. Close that up there. Now these are the additional accessories inside the box. You do get an accessory for the upper emitter section and the lower pommel. The lower pommel section will allow you to change it from what I have on right now to the one with sound ventilation. And then for the blade portion, you do get this little detachment here. So you still keep the thin neck design, you just need a little bit of a wider one to be able to fit a 7/8 blade in which this is going to use. And for this upper section, you do have a total of 3 slots for blade retention. And to be able to change these out is very simple. Like I said, for the bottom section, you're just going to go ahead and unscrew it. Don't put too much pressure. Sometimes it could get a little stuck. It's not too much of a pain. So as I mentioned, you could go ahead and remove the display pommel, which I think it's cool that you actually get a usable one and a display function. So if you're not going to use it and you just want to display it in your collection, which obviously people are going to do, then you can go ahead and put those pieces on it instead. So now that we got the one with sound ventilation, we'll be able to hear the audio when the Saber is on. I did try it out with the cap on, without the ventilation, and you couldn't really hear the audio too much. And for the upper emitter here, it's going to be unscrewing on this upper section here. So don't unscrew down here, unscrew on the upper portions. Just like that. Then you can go ahead and bring over the piece and screw the parts on. And just like that, you're good to go. So here's how it looks now with the other emitter. Again, here's the difference. This is the display portion, and this is the usable one with the blade. So obviously, it's not too much of a big difference. That's the only way to make it usable with a 7/8 blade. It's definitely a lot better than the Galaxy's Edge variation for sure. So let me go ahead and bring a retention screw here so we can go ahead and insert a blade. I do have a blade on standby right here. Now, as far as blade depth, you have a little bit more room in that one compared to the Obi-Wan hilt that I reviewed.
When did Kanan teach you that?
He didn't.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the blade was lower enough. Retention screw there and a retention screw there. I'm just going to put the retention screws on the side. That should be doable enough. Let's go ahead and turn off this main light here. Now, by default, do keep in mind that you do get over 20 lightsaber fonts for the Profi version, which also comes with gesture controls like twist on and twist off. I did, of course, remove all those fonts because I already showcased those fonts several times over. You could just revert back to the In-Saber Dark Saber video for all those particular saber fonts. And I decided to incorporate the saber fonts related to Star Wars Rebels. While I don't have every variation of the fonts on here, I just got some of the main highlights. So let's go ahead and go to font number 1.
I am no Jedi.
Nope, that's not font number 1.
Don't Ezra Bridger.
There we go. So this time I did make sure to add Ezra's second saber font because I couldn't find it the first time around. So I repurchased it. There we go. Activate once again with the twist ignition. Definitely feels good. I am using a little bit of a shorter blade than what it initially comes with. I think it comes with a 32 or 36 inch blade. I believe what I'm using here is a 28 inch. Probably fits the character a little bit because Ezra is, you know, of a younger character compared to characters like Kanan and so forth. And, you know, during one of the episodes, Kanan, when he was teaching Ezra, basically said that there is an adjuster for the actual blade too, so you can go ahead and adjust it to fit the height of the user. So it also kind of fits with the character a little bit too. But again, this feels really good in the hands. It's extremely comfortable. Of course, let's go ahead and go to font number 2. I decided to add his original font from his first saber.
He's been working on that thing for weeks. What kind of lightsaber could he possibly build with the junk we have laying around?
Because I never get tired of that one. Let's see. Now, I will admit that as far as the control box here in the center, it's definitely sharp along the edges here, so kind of be careful with swinging, or you might want to take a little bit of a file and carefully maybe file it down along the edges a little bit, kind of smooth them out, so you might get a little bit of a scrape, maybe a little bit of a cut if you're not too careful with that.
I am Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight.
Gotta add Ezra's master on here.
I'm about to let everyone in on the secret.
Let's see. No, I thought I had something for the upper switch, but I guess I didn't for this particular font. Now, of course, these also do feature the color changing. The color changing will also be on there by default, where if I remember correctly, it's pressing the up then down, or down then up. There you go. So you can go ahead to have whatever color saber font, I mean, not saber font, whatever color blade you want it to be. We're going to go for maybe a little bit of a lighter blue. And then, there we go. Went with a little bit of a lighter one. So easy to use.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Thank you for that. Next up,
I wondered when you would return.
added the temple guard. I don't think this one had any additional voice lines. I wish it did. I believe the temple one was also from Kyberphonic, if I remember correctly. Where he talks about how the boy must be eliminated before he embraces the dark. You know, lines like that would have been nice to have on there, which I could probably just download the audio clips and add it as font packages too. And of course, I added, if I remember correctly, the next one I believe is Ahsoka.
I am no Jedi.
There you go. Because why not? Ahsoka was in Rebels. And will be in the upcoming Ahsoka series. This one's definitely always a loud saber font.
I was beginning to believe I knew who you were behind that mask. But it's impossible. My master could never be as vile as you.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
And last but not least, I also added Ezra's second saber font again, but I decided to incorporate the saber fonts and then a prion to kind of go with one-on-one, such as...
Don't worry, Sabine. I got us into this. I'll get us out.
When did Kanan teach you that?
He didn't.
just like that. So that was the Prion where she speaks and then he goes, "You did it," and then boom, ignites. That was during the episode where Ezra again was embracing the dark, you know, teaching or learning from the Sith holocron. Again, probably a little bit of minor spoilers, but honestly, it's kind of hard to not talk about Star Wars if not every single person's seen every episode. Can't help it. But yeah, let me go ahead and turn this light back on. And again, this definitely, it just feels great in the hands. It feels fun to wield and play with. And honestly, I don't really have any complaints. I mean, as far as any nitpick, if I had to put anything on there, would be, of course, that upper little ring doesn't have that gold on there. But again, something you can do yourself. As far as getting access to the internals, it is easy to do so. It does have a removable chassis. All you need to do is to remove the pommel cap. Once you do that, you can go ahead and get access to the chassis and simply slide that out. On the chassis itself, you are going to have a USB-C connector on the bottom, so you can charge it directly like so. Or if you have one of those charging battery packs, you can go ahead and also remove the battery as well. In terms of the Profi board is easy to access, and the micro SD card is also going to be easy to access this time around. Sometimes these can be a little bit of a pain, but you can lift up the board a little bit to plug in a cable or to get access to the SD card. But then again, you could also access the SD card by simply just plugging in the Profi board itself. But again, it's all about, you know, what you like to do as the user. Everyone's different, has their own taste. I find, you know, trying to load in Saber fonts through the board, it tends to be a little bit slower compared to just putting in the SD card into your computer. So much faster. That's usually like the main benefit of doing it that way. But yeah, overall a very good looking hilt, impressive indeed. I think TXQ did a really good job with this particular one, and again, you guys can let me know in the comment section as well. For those of you who do want to attempt to add that gold little ring there are plenty of options you can go with. One idea that I had in my mind was simply taping off the sections that you don't want painted and just taking like a gold paint. For example, I paint Warhammer miniatures, so I have several gold paints. One that comes to mind would be Retributor armor that I tend to use for a lot of my Space Marine miniatures, where I could just tape off the area and just carefully paint that in a few little sections there. If you want to get crazy with it and make sure you have a smooth finish, you could tape off everything except for the ring and attempt to use a spray can if you want, but that's a little bit excessive. But again, that's only if you want to add that yourself. But once again, let me know what you guys think about this. I also, again, pretty cool that you do get little display portions, so when you're putting it onto the shelf, not using it, it's going to look great. I like the fact that it's using a 7/8 blade and not a 1-inch blade, because, you know, it could look a little bit different, but the fact that the blade is usable is great, while still maintaining that thin neck design is always a plus. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next review, which I do have another saber here. There's like sabers all around. Next week we will be taking a look at another new hilt that recently went into my hands, which is called the Imperial Frost, which I hope you guys look forward to that one as well, with the nice crystal chamber reveal on it. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and always remember, may the Force be with you.